everybody, it's Susan with the Noonan Carnegie Library, and I'm here with another book review for you. Today we're going to talk about Crown of Coral and Pearl by Rutherford. I loved this book. This was a young adult fantasy book, and this book was terrific. I really enjoyed it. This book is about the kingdom of Alara, and it starts out in the ocean village of Verinia, which is a really cool place. It's completely isolated in the middle of the ocean. You need boats to get from house to house, or some people will swim from house to house. What they do for Alara is their whole job is to go diving for oysters because they need to find pearls. Now, this is a very dangerous job. So mostly only the men are allowed to do it, and they try to keep the women from doing it who are young, because their main job as young women is to make themselves beautiful, because the most beautiful person will marry the Prince of Alara. And that's really their job. So this book has a lot to do with beauty and the expectations of society on beauty. So that was such an interesting part of this book. So it starts out where we meet Nor. She is a young girl who lives in Verinia, and she was in an accident when she was younger, and she received a scar on her face. So she is not considered beautiful anymore, so she's kind of out of the running to be the princess of Alara. So she actually does have to dive for pearls, because they're like, oh, you're not beautiful anymore because of your scar, so you're not going to be chosen by the prince. Her sister Zadie, though, is considered the most beautiful woman in Verinia, and it's almost a shoo-in that she's going to be the princess. So in order to choose the most beautiful woman, all the village elders get together, and they basically look at all the women and rate them and decide which one is the most beautiful. It's a very cruel system, because they're just basically looking at their looks. So the night before this cattle call, I would say, Zadie has a terrible injury where she's completely cut up, and everyone's just freaking out. This was their chance. Whoever is the princess, her family gets a ton of money, and their family really needs this money because they're really suffering. So everyone's just freaking out. Well, they decide that they're going to find a way to cover up Nor's scar. Zadie is just so badly injured, she can't possibly even appear. And they're twin sisters, by the way, so they look exactly alike. So they decide that they're going to cover up Nor's scar, and they're going to send her in her place. So that's what they do, and surprise, Nor gets chosen to be the princess. So the village elders choose her, and then she goes off, and she's going off to a new life. Now, she has always wanted to escape Verinia, so she's kind of excited about this chance. She's always felt a little held back because she wants to see more of the world. So she's very excited. So now she's going to head to Alaria. She's never been to the mainland. She's always just stayed in her ocean village. So she is really excited about going and seeing more of the world. So she has to go on a long journey across the ocean and then overland to go to the castle. Well, she finds the castle is not exactly what she expected. It's like in a mountain, it's cold, and it's forbidding. So she feels a little like, oh, I don't know about this. This is, she has to walk up this long way to even get there, and it's just cold and damp, and it's just not what she expected. And then she meets the prince, and they live happily ever after. No. She finds Prince Saren to be kind of arrogant, harsh, cold. She's very disappointed in him. She's like, oh, this wasn't what I was expecting. It's not some romantic tale. So she's very nervous. He seems like not a nice guy. So this story is about her finding out secrets from Alaria. Like, there's royal bloodline disputes, different plots, a possible murdered queen. It is so intriguing and good. And of course, throw in Prince Saren's handsome brother, Prince Talon, maybe not so cold, and you get a really good story. I enjoyed this one so much. It kept me turning the pages. It was just really great, and you know how I like to talk about the cover, so let's talk about the cover. As you can see, there's like some beautiful ocean foam, which is for Verinia. There's a pearl crown. If you look really close, you can see the pearls in there. It's just a gorgeous cover, and I love the font too for the title. So this book really did attract me because of the cover, and then I read it and I really loved it. I gave this one 5 stars. It was just such a good book. Sometimes young adult fantasy books can leave me a little like, or sometimes the world building isn't great, but in this one, the world building was great. I was fascinated both with Alara and Verinia. I thought, you know, the intrigue in it was great, the mysteries, and just the plots and all that. It really attracted my attention and kept me turning the pages. So this was a great book. I suggest you read it, and if you do, let us know what you think about it, and thanks so much for joining us today. If you're interested in reading any of these books we've been reviewing, we have a special shelf at the Carnegie that has all of the books we've been giving you reviews about over the last couple months, so just come on in. You don't even have to give us your card to check any of these out. You can just grab them, let us know how many you're taking, and go. So come in and see us soon so you can read all these books we've been talking about.